Welcome to mecaniquesportive. I'm Nicholas, and today I present the new RENAULT CAPTUR E-Tech Hybrid 145 HP Renault Sportline 2021. As they say, it's new, so there's something different. Until now, there was the plug-in hybrid Capture ETECH version, and now there's the ETECH version. So this is a hybrid version, but not a plug-in. There's no dedicated charging socket. It's a simplified version like on the Clio ETECH. I'll show you the car in detail if you've already seen the video about the Capture ETECH plug-in. It's basically the same, except for a few minor differences in the road test and engine presentation. Let's get started and I'll show you in detail. So the difference is in the engine. We're still using the 1-liter 6-cylinder engine, and this time, with this hybrid, we'll have much less of that. The weight of the batteries, like in the previous or plug-in hybrid version, we have more than 200 kilograms of batteries, which is only 10 kilograms more than the base configuration. So we don't have to modify the entire rear of the chassis. On the plug-in version, we needed 4 bars to support the weight of the battery, which made the rear much heavier and changed the handling of the car. Here, it feels like we're in a much lighter car and almost back to where we started. It already had a great chassis and a single-block 6-cylinder engine. For batteries, we have a 1.2 kWh battery, small but more than enough to reduce your consumption. Able to drive up to 80 km/h in full electric mode at certain times and force electric mode. We'll see that while driving, and especially in the city. Being able to drive almost up to 50% of the time in full electric mode. That's true comfort in daily life. The difference is these batteries use 200 volts while larger ones use 400 volts. That also has a bit of an impact on the difference in weight and performance. This time, we have 145 horsepower, up from 140 on the Clio E-Tech. The engine has a few minor changes. We won't go into details, but upcoming versions will also have 145 horsepower, just like the Arkana Hybrid. The car will weigh about 1,300 kilos, which is good for a small urban SUV. In terms of dimensions, we're looking at a vehicle that's 4 meters 23 long, 1 meter 80 wide, and 1 meter 58 high. So the size is rather compact for this type of vehicle. Today we have here in Renault Sportline version. That's also new, the Renault Sportline version on the Captur. I admit I like it. We have an initial version here as I'm showing you. So as you can see, there are a few differences, especially in the bumpers, the rims, and the finish. So it's mainly on the front. You'll see that we have quite different grills. Both are well finished. On the front then, this very distinctive hood here with these 2 big lines here that you can clearly see, which are quite pronounced. What still stands out to us now is this big Renault logo. Still not the new Renault badge like the ones that will be on the upcoming models starting next year, I think. We'll have the new Renault logo. The C-shaped light is visible during the day. Here, all lights, turn signals, daytime running lights, and low beams use full LEDs. No fog lights here, it's this bumper here, so on this Renault Sport version, we still have air intakes on the sides. This is common on most cars, especially hybrids and electrics. To be able to have slightly better drag coefficients and to let the air pass through. Likewise, you can see the car remains very streamlined. At the front, we have this large chrome bar that starts here and goes all the way around, kind of like a U shape here. Very nice with the accent here, with some chrome and the chrome logo. It gives a nice style, especially with this beautiful blue color in the sunlight. It creates some very pretty sparkles. Below this front bumper here, which is tinted in the plastic, same here, it's nice. Here we have the sensor, because now on Renaults we have adaptive cruise control. Well, that's a big plus with all the driving aids, of course, with emergency braking, etc. But adaptive cruise control, that's really nice. The small parking sensors are well integrated and well done. Renault, the camera, the 360-degree packets right here. I find it well integrated. Honestly, a great effort. Otherwise, at the front, as we'll see, it's still a Captur and you can still recognize it pretty well. On the side, nothing changes in terms of the lines. Just on this Renault Sportline version, you'll find the little Renault Sportline badge here where it says so. Black mirror, 2-tone black on the car, turn signal repeater. Here, a chrome strip starts here and goes all the way to the end, really setting off this line. The top is black, the pillars are black. The E-Tech Hybrid badge here, since it's an E-Tech Hybrid. The T-shaped fridge handles at the front and back. the plastic side skirts here, just like around the wheel arches, to reinforce that slightly SUV-like look. New feature, we have the Renault Sportline wheels here, and we have the small Renault Sport logo here, which we had on the previous models, for example, Megane Renault Sport, and everything that was Renault Sport, so Renault Sport. Now it's become a trim level on Renaults since the Renault Sport department no longer exists, so the Megane Renault Sport, etc., etc. It's over. Everything is going to be transferred to Alpine, so now these will just be trim levels for this kind of car. On this side here, we have the fuel cap. No charging needed here. As you can see, the lines on the side make it a sleek car. We have a long spoiler here that finishes off with the whole top in black. It's nice, it's pretty, it suits it well. At the back, we have this slightly sloping, compact rear, which almost gives it a coupe-like look, but it still stays pretty upright. The rear tinted windows and the distinctive C-shaped lights, also seen at the front, are easily recognizable on new Renaults. Same thing, full LED lights at the back and the same for the fog lights here. And rear view cameras, and not just cameras, but the reverse lights, all in LEDs, so that's good. The Renault logo that includes the camera right here, the name, like on all the new Renault Captur models, which is here, the little Capture reminder. The little reminder on the side, E-Tech Hybrid. The license plate here, we have this plastic part on the sides, it's painted. 2 tricks to make you think they're exhausts, since this is the Renault Sport version. But no, we just have a tiny exhaust that comes out just underneath, and with an engine that you can barely hear at all. Next, in terms of the trunk, we'll have quite a few options. We'll have between 400 and 530 liters of cargo space. So to give you an idea of the size, here we go. As usual, I get inside, so it's not the most spacious of all. But this time, unlike the plug-in hybrid version, for example, we have enough space to put this kind of bag just underneath. There you go, it can be stored. So we'll still have quite a bit of storage space here, and underneath we'll really have a lot of storage. That's also an advantage we didn't have on the rechargeable version. Additionally, the rear seats slide 15 centimeters, increasing storage space. For the prices of this Captur E-Tech hybrid, it starts at around 27,000 euros with a 2,000 euro bonus. That's more. So it's going to be reduced next year, so take advantage of it. And a TCE 140 version, it will cost just a little less, since it's about 25,500 euros. So is it worth getting this one or not? It's up to you to think about it. So what is it like in the back of this Captur? I get in really easily. There we go. The door's pretty light. It's not bad on this Renault Sportline version. We've got a pretty nice finish. So with a kind of fabric textile, I'm not really sure how to describe it. Kind of a textured feel, but well done. Carbon imitation. It looks nice. There's plastic pretty much everywhere else. A little bit of leather imitation here with some stitching. The finish is pretty nice. Fabric seats. Same thing here. A little bit of leather, the seat belt for the third seat, which is here, and can be removed. So, how is it? Well, as for the seating, I'm 6 feet tall. The front seat is adjusted for me. I have leg room, I have space for my feet, and I also have space under the seat. I'm pretty comfortable. The rear seats seem to hold you pretty well when you're going around a corner. The seat is good. It's shaped right there. Not bad, honestly. Not bad. At head level, if I sit up really straight, I'm barely touching, maybe just a little on the side. It's true that the roof rises up quite a bit this way. On the side, yes. As for rear visibility, it's fine. I don't feel too cramped. However, the windows are small. It's not too bad. The seats here are comfortable. Now let's test this one. There we go. Even though I'm not big, I feel like I might fall to the left or right. This spot is pretty firm. It actually feels like a motorcycle seat. The backrest, on the other hand, is really good. It's very rare for this part to be harder than the backrest. The backrest, it's really comfortable. The seat is a little bit harder. For my feet, I have a little bit of space. There is still a central tunnel. It's a shame, since, well, we don't have four-wheel drive or anything like that. It would be good to remove it. Then, as I was saying, we have the sliding bench that moves 15 centimeters. So basically, it fits right here. Here, if the seat is moved fully forward, we can't fit a third person since it's very close to the air vents. On the other hand, it's good. They really slide a lot. ISOFIX mounts are also in the back seats, discreetly hidden under a small cover. That's great. And honestly, the position is comfortable. I feel good in the back. We have a bit of air here, but no adjustment. 2 USB ports and a small 12-volt socket. The rear seats are a kind of plastic with 2 nets on each side. The headrests aren't too bothersome in the back. I prefer not having large headrests blocking the forward view. It feels freer and easier to breathe. They're good here and also slim. The design is nice, and in the front, it's just as easy to get into the cabin. The door is the same, still light. My driving position is comfortable, so I have quite a few options. The seat is adjustable in height, length, and tilt, so it can be adjusted quite a bit. I can really go far. There we go. There we go. The steering wheel as well, adjustable in depth on... We still have a good range, and the height looks good. It really allows me to select the position I want and my driving position. So now I've messed everything up, but I'm pretty comfortable. Same, I have enough space around my head. I'm at the lowest position here, while someone taller might be too high. The steering wheel is very comfortable. In this whole part, I'll show you directly from the driver's point of view to show you what it looks like and explain all the options in detail. So, when you get in, it looks like this. Here, I have my little Renault Sport door sill. It's pretty nice. It's a pleasure to have that. I'll show you the door from here. There's more light. So, this fabric, like in the back, which looks like carbon and is a kind of fabric here. It's a bit padded, it's cool. A handle and a storage compartment where there's quite a bit of space. You can fit a large bottle, the interior. Here's our view of the Renault Sportline version with the Renault Sport steering wheel, featuring the Renault Sport badge. Perforated leather like this, smooth leather here, always soft. And at Renault, they often have steering wheels that are a bit soft. It's nice when you have a lot of driving to do. On the left side, all the driving aids, so the distance to the vehicle in front of us, the limiter, the adaptive cruise control, the lane keeping assist. Here, you have the controls to adjust the speeds. On the right, it's the menus, as usual, like on all Renaults, which give us the information in the background over there. So, when we start, foot on the brake, and this little button, and it displays all of that for us. So here we have the gauges. So everything is digital in this area, just like this screen. The menus. So I can have several choices up there. So we have 4 main menus: consumption and others, trips, tire pressure, and temperatures. And there you go, the consumption. So it might go up since I did some 0 to 100 runs that you'll find on the channel. That's what it looks like. The engine is recharging the batteries now. And so this little cycle will tell you if the engine is powering the wheels or if the engine is charging the batteries. There you go. It just turned off. It recharged a little bit. That's enough for it. And then the batteries power the wheels. So that's the cycle that's going to happen. On the left, you have the speed and your fuel gauge. And on the right, you have your battery gauge. We can change the meters, so we'll have that depending on the mode we choose. For example, in my sense mode, the meter appears like this and can be customized. If I switch to sport mode, a little animation plays like on all Renaults. And here is the sport mode meter. And if I switch to eco mode looks like this, always with a little animation that plays. At no point will you have a tachometer. You'll always have this version here. For example, when you see electric vehicle displayed, that's when it will be in electric mode. And when you don't go past that, it means the car doesn't have a lot of power. And when you accelerate fully, it will go all the way to power into the maximum. When you slow down, it will recharge in this area here, and it will give you the charging indication. And you have that. It's the same in all modes. It's just that it differs a little in color or style. For example, you find it on the right there, but it always comes down to the same thing. Behind the steering wheel, we have the lights here, so of course we have automatic lights. The turn signals on the right, the wipers with automatic wipers, and so on. The famous button from Renault. So for the sound controls, the volume, the sources, you can connect your music with your phone or something else. There are a few options on the left side. So enable or disable, just the lane keeping assist, or when you're about to cross the white line. This controls the instrument lighting, headlight height, and heated steering wheel. This is my favorite button, heated steering wheel in winter. How nice is it to touch one that's warm? Then, right here, an air vent with a little red line as a reminder of the Renault Sport. The dashboard cover here, which is all padded across the entire dashboard. This screen here will give you all the information, surrounded by the air vent degrees. So we have a home button like on a smartphone. You can have widgets, shortcuts, radio stations, driving aids. We have all that this way, and you can personalize it a bit. Then we have the menus that will give you access to radio navigation, vehicle information, settings, and more. Below we have our modes, the little electric vehicle button here, which is used to force electric mode. When I press it and it lights red, the car runs in electric mode. This is multi-sense to allow customization. So in my sense, I can configure the steering, the dashboard, and the lighting. The hazard lights. That's the sound of the hazard lights. Lock the vehicle, the park assist, which will help you park, and the cameras, since this vehicle is equipped with 360-degree cameras. Below, the climate control unit that we know very well now at Renault, and in many of the group's vehicles. So here, you adjust the speed, the temperature, and where you want to get cooled, the defrost, the air conditioning. Just below, there's a large storage compartment here that's really accessible. You can store wipes or other things. 2 USB ports support Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. The auxiliary input to play your music if you want, with a jack and a 12-volt socket on the side. Next, we come to this gear selector here. So, foot on the brake, that allows me to shift into drive, into B, or into reverse, which activates at the same time. The rear view cameras. And the parking mode by pressing right here. Here we have the floating console, so it's nice, it's stylish. There's nothing between the two. You can have some extra storage space right there. Next, we have a small holder here to put your key. It's really made to put your key and to take it out. You press it like this. They thought of everything. Look, it's great, and at least it's there. It doesn't move. The electric parking brake, the auto hold, which allows you to stay stopped without holding the brake pedal. When you're at a light, it's nice. And then 2 cup holders right here. Then we have a small armrest. Hop. You can fit a small 50 cl bottle in this limited storage space, and it's an armrest that can be adjusted lengthwise. The seats, here's what they look like. So fabric almost everywhere, stitching right here on this part with a bit of a leather finish. These are the seats of the Renault Sport. So we have the little Renault Sport logo here, and the headrests, which are nice, sleekly designed. They're really cool. The seat belts have red stripes on the sides to signal the Renault Sport trim. And that's what the door looks like on the upper right. Well done, Renault, thank you. Borderless rear view mirror. Very pleasing to the eye, and it's much nicer. And then the lights here, so we turn on the LED inside here, and our SOS button. The sun visor, there you go, with the LED on top. And there you go. As for the pedals, we have the Renault Sport pedals, so with aluminum and a large footrest on the side, which is quite nice. There's a place to rest your left foot. Now all that's left is to try the new Captur E-Tech Hybrid. All right, let's go with this new Captur E-Tech Hybrid, but it's not a plug-in this time. So today we have the Renault Sport line, which gives us this pretty cool style. These little seat belts, kind of like a Mégane Renault Sport with small red stitches on the side. We're going to start in the city, then we'll do a bit of driving on departmental roads and a bit on national roads. No highways today. Renault's planned route didn't include any. And there aren't many in this area. So let's go. Foot on the brake, start engine. There you go. The car is started. The hybrid is quiet and makes no noise. It's nice. To start drive, I pull it towards me. I have 2 modes here, drive mode and B mode. B mode is a kind of brake. It's for recovering energy. In electric mode, we'll start with drive mode. And we'll see how it goes. So the handbrake releases automatically as soon as I start moving. We're in luck. There's a small roundabout here, so we'll test right away to see how it goes. I actually have pretty good support in the lower back area. It's not bad. If I go a bit faster, I get carried away a little at the top. So the first things. So with my sense, I have an ultra light steering, that I can customize in 3 modes. The car has My Sense, Sport, and Eco modes. Right now, I'm in My Sense mode, which is the one you can customize. I can switch back to Eco mode. Eco mode, as its name suggests, is for saving, especially fuel. So with the hybrid, honestly, the suspension is great over speed bumps. The hybrid is really about saving energy without too much weight from the batteries and without needing to recharge or anything like that. It's a very good compromise since it costs less. It works really well these days. For example, the engine just restarted here. The car will handle everything by itself. For city driving, I can switch to full electric mode if I want. So I have a little electric vehicle button here, which allows me to force the car into electric mode. So here, for example, the car is handling everything by itself. In electric mode, as I said it, we clearly won't get 50 kilometers. Depending on how you drive, depending on the area, you might be able to do 4 or 5 kilometers if you go gently. Let's test the turning radius. Here we go. Right here. Well, it's not amazing. On this kind of mini roundabout, we could have maybe done a little better. It manages pretty well on cobblestones. Here. No, the suspension. They did something really good. So for the city, like we are here, for example, the electric mode is super pleasant. It's quiet, it doesn't bother people. It uses nothing, showing 0 liters per 100 because I'm in full electric mode. I still think that's awesome. As for acceleration in electric mode, I don't care. It's more than enough, we don't need more. And there, the engine just restarted, for example, so I was a bit low on power, and the engine decided to restart on its own. It won't ask your opinion, it'll just act. So for everything in the city, the ideal is a hybrid, or even a plug-in hybrid, depending on what you want. So here we were in D mode, so I was the one using the brake, which is pretty smooth. We'll also see during the test that they're quite powerful and that the car stops well. Now I'm switching to B mode, which will maximize energy regeneration. Here I just released the accelerator and it slows down a lot. And for us, yes, it feels like we're driving a Zoe here, actually. Because, in fact, we have 0. The B mode, or electric mode, lets me accelerate like this, for example, when I'm going downhill. Even better, I release. It's just the electric motors that will regenerate a lot of energy, much more than in D mode. Because you won't be braking, well, it won't slow down with the electric motors. As long as you don't brake with the pedal, it's really the electric motors that do most of the braking, except when you're really at very high speed and you have to use the brake pedal. Otherwise, it's the B mode that will recover the energy. Now I'm letting go. If I anticipate, well, look, the car slows down. I'm at 10 kilometers per hour, 9.8. And by anticipating, well, I just have to brake for not even the last 10 kilometers per hour. For example, when I'm in the city and want to approach a traffic light. That's good because it saves you fuel, it charges the battery well, and on top of that, it allows you not to use your brake pads. It's all benefits. And when you brake, the more it will also recharge the battery. So I saw that we have the little park assist button here. Ah, I like that. My favorite mode is the one for finding a parking spot. So here, it told me it found one. But I'm going to park here. There we go. And here. Normally, it finds me a spot. I put it in reverse, and then it's the car that does the job. That's my favorite feature on cars. I love it when the car parks for me. But I'm still the one controlling the brakes. There you go. It works. It says stop, shift into drive. I don't touch anything at all. My gauge shows me how far to go. Engage reverse gear. So it takes a little longer than if you did it yourself. And there you go. Maneuver complete. All I have to do is press park and the car is parked. Honestly, it's pretty great. All right, sport mode. We'll test 0 to 100, then hard braking. Let's see. Pedal to the metal. So it starts. It's not wow, but it works well. We'll go 80, 90, 100, then brake hard. The braking is much more impressive than the acceleration. But it's not bad, we're doing pretty well. Let's switch to eco mode to keep consumption at 4.7 liters. Alright, next, adaptive cruise control. I'm setting it back to 80. We're off again and the car's driving me. So it revs up quite high at certain moments, and then the engine speed would adapt to return to something more appropriate. If you have a lot of small country roads like this to drive on, it's really good. The car handles itself very well. Fuel consumption is 4.7 liters, which I find pleasant on these small roads. So at 80, it's fine. So here, we're on a small road where there's no one. If I go up to 90, only small thing, there you go. You can hear quite a bit of road noise. 90 is the same, of course. There's wind noise. Very slightly at the windshield. It's still comfortable. It's a good car for this kind of road, and it's also where it really shines. On out-of-city trips on small roads at 70 or 80, fuel consumption is very low, but also in the city. In fact, the hybrid will handle almost 40 to 50% of the time. The time when the car is running, that's a good thing too. Also, in this car, we'll want level 2 assistance for driving aids. We'll also have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, so everything modern these days, USB ports, everything you need. In the end, it's a car that can really do everything. I'm going to drive over the cobblestones. It echoes a bit in the car, but other than that, when it comes to how it feels at the wheel or in the seat, there are almost no vibrations. And in the city, that's really the place. City, village, whatever you want. When you're under 50 kilometers per hour, that's really where this car prefers to be. It switches back to electric. And it's so pleasant, I think. And this ease of use, this steering that's precise, I like it. I have a question. What do you prefer? Do you prefer a small hybrid like this, which is a bit less expensive? Which doesn't have the charging function, so it uses a bit more fuel? Or do you prefer the fully rechargeable version? Or maybe do you prefer the fully gasoline version? I'd like to know a little bit about what you think about it. Personally, I think the plug-in hybrid is the best because you can really have zero consumption, since electricity still costs less than gasoline right now. I think it's great for someone who uses their car every day, who has 10, 15, 20 kilometers to drive every day on electric. It's the best compromise for me as long as you can charge it. If you have a house, it's ideal. For someone who doesn't live in a house or who doesn't have easy access to a charging station, who doesn't want to get a subscription, a hybrid like this is the best of the best. Even for someone who drives a lot. Pretty good, since in the end, diesels are almost no longer made. I think hybrid is still the best. I don't see why we would go for a 100% gasoline car now, when we have these hybrids that are really good. And in terms of budget difference, it's 2,000 euros more. I think it's still worth it to go for this kind of technology. We're on a small road with an 80 km/h speed limit. We're going to set our adaptive cruise control. We're going to turn on lane keeping and lane centering. We'll see how it goes at 80 kilometers per hour. It's comfortable. I'm going downhill in electric mode. The car's really going to handle all of this very well. Between electric mode and when it's running on the combustion engine, like right now, it just switched back to the engine, the transition is super smooth. It's almost unnoticeable. So there are certain conditions where the engine will rev a little higher to get better battery efficiency. Otherwise, at 80 on this type of road, it's really good. Just that, there's quite a bit of road noise, but at 80, there's no engine noise at all, no outside noise, no wind noise. It's pretty pleasant. Let's see if it's easy to handle, even in small places like this. It works well? Let's try to make, there you go, the tightest possible U-turn. We have a turning radius that's not bad. We're fully electric at low speeds, reverse engaged. I have cameras and the 360-degree package on this car. I admit the cameras and quality, it's not amazing. They could definitely do better because cameras aren't the most expensive thing. They're just little Chinese gadgets. There we go, and we're off again. All of this in silence. It's still really nice. The suspension, even on off-road like this, absorbs everything well. It's comfortable. Even going up these kinds of little curbs, it's really nice. So now we're going to switch to sport mode to have a more dynamic ride. Let's see how it goes. So the engine sometimes revs quite high. It can be quite surprising. It picks up properly. So there's no sudden burst, there's no wow effect. It's very, very linear. It's always very linear, but when you look at the speedometer, you see that you're already going pretty fast. Even with your foot to the floor, it will always stay very linear. Actually, the electric motor already assists right from the start with the slightest pressure on the pedal, plus the combustion engine. Well, everything goes hand in hand, actually, and it takes you along. So here I accelerate again, so there you go. I'm back up to 80 and it's going to go pretty fast. The handling actually, the car's just so easy. I really take it wherever I want. I feel like I can do whatever I want with it. If I really want to go to the left, boom, it goes straight there. You see it's sharp. Now in sport mode, with the steering a bit firmer, it's super pleasant for dynamic driving. If I want to go at a slightly faster pace, I can really trust the car. We really have a very good chassis as well, and even when it comes to braking, I'm not going to have any problems. And I'm going to switch back to eco mode, since the goal when you're in a hybrid is to switch back to eco mode. Right away, I can feel the car calming down, the revs dropping, and it's switched back. In electric mode, I stay fully electric at 50 km/h and can go up to 80 km/h easily. Sometimes on the highway or on faster roads, it will switch to electric as soon as there's a little bit of coasting or something like that. The car will really try to save as much energy as possible. What you need to know is that the battery actually doesn't wait to be completely empty before recharging. Sometimes it'll be at half, and it'll recharge a little bit to go back up. It will rarely go all the way to maximum, and it will never go down to 0% battery. Those are the two things you need to know. Since this engine and this gearbox are a little different from the others, this gearbox doesn't have a clutch. So that means it's always the electric mode that will start the car and get it moving. So there will always be a need for an energy reserve, and that's pretty good because every time we start at a light, stop, or slow down, well, we'll be in electric mode. For example, here, I'm switching back to electric mode, and if I stop, when I'm in electric mode, the electric motor always starts me moving again. Off-road like this, it's still good. It's not super hard. You don't really notice the flaws. I'm going a bit faster now. It's the same. Honestly, we have a suspension that you've done a good job on. So this basic Capture E-Tech, just a simple hybrid and not a plug-in. What do we think? It's a rather pleasant vehicle to drive. So it's the same engine that we have on the Clio, that we now have here, and that we'll have on the Megane Tech. In fact, the whole E-Tech group uses the same thing. So this time we have 145 horsepower here, just like on the Arcana, for example. We have a pretty versatile car. We have space inside and a bit of space in the trunk. We have a nice looking car, and I find the Renault Sportline version especially beautiful. We'll be able to see the initials and the other versions as usual. Regarding fuel consumption, on all the small roads we drove today, as you saw, we drove normally and stayed within speed limits. For me, I'm below 5 liters, so about 4.8 liters on average. By trying to push a bit, using electric mode and other features to limit consumption, I think that's decent for this type of car. We didn't really drive on the highway, so there will be slightly higher consumption consumption, of course, since on the highway. Here, electric and combustion engines don't always work the same way. The combustion engine will mostly run, especially on long trips. We're still using a 1.6-liter gasoline engine, which has good fuel efficiency. It's nowhere near 10 or 12 liters. I'm not giving a number, so I won't say anything wrong. Otherwise, in terms of comfort, it was great. As for soundproofing, it's pretty good, though it could have been just a bit better. As for the suspension, I really like the comfort and the car's dynamism. It's great. It's lighter than the plug-in hybrid Captur we tested before. That's what we did on Channel C. This car is 200 kilos lighter, and you can really feel it because 200 kilos is just huge. So here we pretty much have the handling of a regular standard Captur, except that we have slightly lower emissions and slightly lower fuel consumption as well. So for me, it's a good car, a good compromise, not much to criticize, just the driver assistance systems. That could be a little bit improved at Renault. They haven't been fully committed to it for very long. So it could be a little bit improved. Otherwise, if you have any comments about this vehicle, feel free to share them. Personally, I really liked it. It's very versatile. It's a good car. There you go. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to leave comments. Give a thumbs up if you liked it, share the video, and give me your feedback. See you soon for another review.